They speaking in emojis and they speaking in acronyms.
And then, you know.
So they be WTFing you and everything.
They know what they talking about all the time.
But we got what I was trying to say to you earlier is, hold on. Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
Farmer Poe. Farmer Poe today. That's what I'm feeling like.
You already know. Yeah. It's Outlawed Opinions.
Yeah.
Anyways, man, what was you saying?
Nah, but
I think the audience need to hear this.
Nah, but look, like the teenagers for sure, like I get when I used to think I knew everything, or like I didn't understand why my mom was pressing me to do. It wasn't too much I wasn't on top of, but it was like the little shit that I would like ignore, like wash the dishes. Then I want to get mad when she tell me when I go sit down, I should have put up the dishes. You know, it's little shit like that. But it wasn't too much. These little niggas.
But hold on. You telling me right now, at the age you at right now, that there aren't some things that you were really right about around that age?
Like what? Give me an example.
Anything.
It wasn't too much.
Anything. Like.
It wasn't too much. It wasn't too much.
Well, I think I was right about certain stuff that wasn't that big of a deal. Like, because it's kind of hard to say without trying to out your parents and make them look bad. But
nah, see, that was the issue in my household.
What?
Anything I could look back on that I probably got frustrated with my parents, and it was only really like my mom, because she was the one who was always definitely
your
checking.
Mom was, yeah.
My dad had a different way of doing it. It was just because I just didn't like it.
I feel like
there's nothing I can say that I got held accountable for that I was blamed for. Nigga, I lived in the house by myself. Who else?
Yeah. They ain't gonna be.
And they was a team.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So check this out.
They huddling up. You know what I'm saying? In the room.
Let me say this about your moms real quick, because I know moms is watching. Shout out to moms. I've seen two different versions of your mother from when we grew up to now.
Okay.
Have you ever watched Star Wars? Like,
yeah.
Did you watch the episode 1 through 3? Did you see all three of those? The prequels?
I seen the first prequel.
Okay. Do you remember how lit Obi-Wan was in episode 1 when he was young?
Yeah.
And he was just dogging stuff, and that's the version of your mom I met. And then you see the older version of Obi-Wan, meek, chill, patient.
Like the first actual Star Wars.
Yeah, just not even getting mad like that. Just you know what I'm saying.
Nah,
you need to let us in the gate. All right, I'm gonna let you in the gate. The reason why I say that is because the reason why I could do that comparison, right, is because you got to think, bro, how far we go back, right? And so I can reflect and I can do compare and contrast. See, there's things that like it's the uniqueness of like. You really think that this person was just always this patient and chill with you, but you have no idea what it took for me to get here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we kind of are going through as parents. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, once we get to that certain age where it's just, I even see it with my brother. My brother's still him, but he got patience, because I've seen the version of where it was like, somebody was messing with me and I go get my brother and he was like, what's up with it? And then I seen the version was like, hey man, don't even. And then I see the version I was like, man, people just talk. You know what I'm saying?
When you think about it too though, is like the older you get, it's not that you can't go there. You have to think about,
they have to earn it.
Or in the video game, right?
Yeah.
If you use a certain move or a special power, it takes your energy down a certain amount.
Yeah,
there's an effect.
And then it take forever to get the energy bar back up.
So as you get older, your strength might increase.
Mm-hmm.
The
amount of damage inflicted is going to be detrimental. Yes.
But also now I'm tired.
Yeah.
Now I'm sweating. Now my knees hurt.
Whoa.
And now I'm.
Pause.
Okay. So look, for those of you out there, there comes a time when you have to admit when you've done something wrong, and that was wrong of me. I totally apologize. That was not me. I did not. Today's Sunday. The devil is out.
Yo, you better be glad Cam and Mace ain't here.
Today is Sunday, and the devil is lurking.
Yo.
So, but look, no, real talk. Like, the amount of energy that you use is like, do I really need to or want to exert this amount of energy? Do I really
just so you to understand?
You compartmentalize the shit that you want to be angry about.
Yeah, that's real.
So,
well,
that's the battle.
I do believe every parent that says when the teenage years is the most frustrating. I do believe that, and I don't have a rebuttal. I can't say, well, and I'm gonna be honest. For those parents that don't experience that, I think you guys are an anomaly, or you're lying. And
it's not really difficult because parenting is difficult.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
It's difficult because now you're dealing with a person who can think for themselves or wants to think for themselves so much that they become rebellious against certain things. So it's not even really you run up you're arguing about things that they know that they're incorrect about, or that they're going outside of what is expected. It's just that they want to rebel in some way, whether consciously or subconsciously.
If I put myself back to when I was a teenager, and I think about times where I might have had a debate or a disagreement with my parent, my mom, or like an older relative in the family, I don't think it was more about being right. I think it was more about like your way of thinking is outdated. Your way of viewing is outdated because, and I think we're different. I really do think we are more connected to what they're exposed to than our parents were connected to what we were exposed to, because they would sound really funny with their assumptions.
Well, I'm not even talking about debating on like a fact or even common knowledge, pop culture, music. I'm talking about rebelling against. They're not doing something, or they're not doing it up to expectation. See, and now you're debating with, I did it. You didn't tell me to. Oh, I did do it.
That's what
well, when I did it this way, I was.
It still applies. I'm gonna tell you why. Because whatever BS, I feel like whatever BS younger people try to feed our generation, because we are now getting closer to being the OGs, I think it's different even for us, because we're looking at it like, you're trying to do something similar to what I used to do, and you're not even as nice as I was at it. So stop it.
Yeah, but what happened when you wrong? Like today, I was wrong. Like, I had told him to clean the bathtub.
Right.
I go in there and, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you supposed to spray the little shit in there, 409, whatever you got, and put some condiment in there, put some elbow grease in there. I see a little shadow around the tub.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, but when I wiped it, I did it before. I said, you wipe. I said, man, nah, you wiping. I said, you supposed to put some elbow grease in there. I said, do it again. So he did it again, and he came out to me. He said that I think that's just how it's not supposed to look, but that's what is permanently like that.
Yeah.
And so I went in there,
and you was like, what?
And I went in there. I was like,
you got to be. So you went in there, right?
I did.
And you got defeated by the
I said, all right, this time.
That reminds me of like
this time.
And I know, for our women, our women listeners, have you ever been in a situation, right? Because this is the analogy I'm gonna use, where like you got an older brother or a boyfriend or something, and somebody did something to you, and you send that dude out there to go handle business, and they come back beat up.
Yeah, get his ass whooped.
And they come back beat up. That's like the equivalent of like when you're telling a kid something and they're telling the truth and they know what they're talking about, and that's that time where you don't. Where it's like, well, yeah, you're right.
The worst of that is it's okay to be. Sometimes you can be wrong as a parent, because sometimes it's like the boy that cried wolf. I told my son, like, it's not about the boy telling a lie. It's about his pattern of behavior.
Yeah, so the validity in what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm used to you saying or doing something.
True.
But this is the worst. When you talking and you getting your shit off as a parent, and you fuck up and say the wrong thing or some shit that don't make sense.
Oh, bro, I've caught you doing that on the phone.
And your kid look at you.
I've been on the phone when you was talking to Jaheim about that.
Blood,
And then
worst,
I'm gonna tell you.
Cause you be mad as hell.
I'm gonna tell you what make it funny to me when I've caught you doing that. When I caught you doing that, you try to divert it, right? And you try to focus on something else so you can keep the same energy. And I'm gonna give you an example.
Cause you gotta move,
I'm gonna give you an example of what you did one time on the phone, and then we're gonna dive into this. That's kind of related to what we're talking about.
Okay.
You was on the phone. We was on the phone, and this is when I used to laugh at you all the time. So I know you try to get back at me now because I got little ones. And so you'll be like, you was on the phone with him about something, and he just wasn't really registering what you were saying, but you were explaining it wrong. You were explaining it wrong, and you said, see, now you didn't. Oh, stand up. When I heard the O let me know that, oh man, I didn't explain it to him right. And so now you got to keep the same energy so that he understands you serious and he don't notice that you were wrong. And so you try to make it about like him sitting down didn't have nothing to do.
You gotta find something they was wrong about.
Yeah, so you try to find something. See, that's stand up.
Yeah, you gotta find something they was wrong about.
So now he loses seating privileges.
It's like stop and frisk. I know you wrong somewhere, nigga.
Yo, straight up, I was like, nah, bro over here using the cheat code.
Wrong around here somewhere, nigga. I know it's turn around.
Where is that?
Where the wrong guy?
Just come clean, boy. Just come. But yo, getting into this, man, I wanted to talk to you about this topic more than anyone because of your long history of dealing with the work you've done with after school programs and kids and things of that nature, right? So I sent you 2 links about these kids that got locked. I think they got locked in Walgreens because they was trying to steal. It was 3 of them. And it was crazy the amount of confidence and entitlement to their theft that tripped me out. Like, you better open this door or I'm finna. And then that was the first video. And then the second video was the older sister defending the behavior and then trying to defend the mom's reputation on how she raised her kids. Now, of course, this, all of the kids were black for the viewers. I try to put these clips in the full episode so they can get more context. I'm not always able to do it, but I just wanted to know your thoughts on what you think about that. And are those the type of situations that help perpetuate this false narrative on black people, black kids, and how black people parent their kids?
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm extremely disappointed because I come from a long line of youth that used to steal out of Walgreens. Right? Like we used to really steal out of Walgreens. And the fact that they could just really it's really.
But did you see how they were leaving?
Yeah, because when we used to steal out of Walgreens,
it was candy and maybe like some chips or something.
But that's what you were supposed to steal out of Walgreens.
Bro, they had bags like they paid for it.
Yeah, but this is a different generation of stealing out of Walgreens. Let me just tell you, when we used to steal out of Walgreens,
so they're entitlement thieves.
We didn't want them to know we were stealing.
Entitlement thieves.
Not even entitlement thieves. It's just like,
bro, they wanted to walk out of the store with bags of stuff that they did not pay for it, looking like they paid for it.
Yeah, that was crazy. Now, in all seriousness, though, it's a lot of layers to these type of conversations about, like, what you would call degenerate. Is it degenerate?
Yeah.
Black youth that are running around causing havoc, committing misdemeanor and petty crimes.
Right.
Like it's a lot of conversations going on with it, right? For many people, and what it looks like is that that's the expected behavior of black youth. When we not the only ones who do it.
Of course not.
You feel me? Like,
every culture has a group of people in a sector that operates like this, and it may be in different ways. It's kind of like crime. When you see crime on the news about a black person stealing something or a shooting, or anything violent, they immediately go to black people. But when you talk about white collar crimes and the things you see on American Greed, that don't be us.
Yeah, and
bank fraud and
Walgreens is like a 99-cent store in the hoods, in the ghettos. It's a Walgreens in a lot of low income, ghetto, poverty stricken areas. So that's a place that youth is going in all the time and taking it. So it from the perception, if you was to look at it at a different view, you would say, well, Walgreens, these kids are going in these different stores like Walgreens and Targets and committing these different types of crimes. But if you stand back and look at it at a bird's eye view and see it from a different perspective, you'll see that the Walgreens that are affected in these poverty-stricken areas, not because that's inherent of the people or the group, the race, the ethnic group or whatever. It's based on what? Access to resources and goods.
Yeah.
These kids are still in Kent. I remember summers or times that I was like, even at my pop's house, like, we going in different stores and stealing candy and little snacks and shit, because that's what kids eat. So you ain't going. It would look like you
walking
just
out with
stealing,
porterhouse steaks
just
and
stealing
salad.
for fun. Yeah, sometimes it was for fun, but sometimes we stealing like because I'm kind of fake hungry right now.
Right.
And that's what kids think to eat when they're hungry.
Yeah,
now, I'm not
true.
saying it's good what they did, how they did it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that, like, coming from a perspective of somebody who would try to be unbiased. Now, when it comes down to being a parent, even a youth myself, a black male, that was crazy. Like, the way that they talking and just having no
respect.
No respect. Like, it's one thing to be stealing and doing that shit and talking crazy. Like, if I ever did anything, let me stop talking, because there was times that I did that shit.
Where you were disrespectful to an adult? Or just disrespectful in general?
I was never disrespectful if I knew I was wrong doing something. I wouldn't say disrespect. I wasn't talking crazy like that. There was times that I was disruptive and like just.
I feel like
adults outside on the street walking around like just talking crazy and committing crimes and talking crazy. Like, I would have never been like, I would have been trying to be hidden and slip up out of there.
Well, I think when I looked at them being locked in the store and how they was going back and forth, like, if I was their age, I would have been shook more than that confident to be that disrespectful. Because now I know, because I'm caught, and I know that now my mom and my dad is going to find out and I'm going to get in even more trouble. But here's the thing. I think that they were confident in acting like that because apparently there's no daddy around. And it don't sound like the mom is able to be around because the older sister is looking after them, which is another layer of how parenting can go in certain environments where the older sister has the more parent responsibility while the parent is at work. But then when you see the second video and they did a rebuttal video, which is crazy, with the same PJs on,
cussing all
in the video, and the older sisters encouraging that. So it's like there is no teacher in the house, because if the older sister's like that, the kids are like that. I'm just gonna assume that the mother operates the same way, because that type of behavior comes from the older people in the family.
Yeah, because anybody who might have been raised by a single mom, now they could say it's about how many kids she got, whatever. Any black mama who got multiple kids, raising them by herself, she put the law down. Them kids ain't gonna do that. They might go do some shit and try to be sneaky about it. That don't mean that they may not have behavioral problems. That may not mean that just because she laid a law down that they're not going to potentially come across things that are getting into trouble or whatever. Right. But they know if they do that. Yeah. Hell no, you can't do that. And have no mama that laid a law down.
Yeah, because there is like we're in a climate right now.
He got a rest in peace, God bless the dead. He got a FBG duck mama, nigga.
No, that's real.
The type of mama
that's real. Because here's the thing. When we talk about like there's a lot of platforms, right? There's a lot of platforms where a lot of brothers that have a platform just like us, where they spend a lot of their time talking about the results of children being under single moms, right? And the reason why I think that could be so triggering to a lot of women and a lot of women that are single moms is because they get grouped in with the ones that are irresponsible.
For sure.
And the truth is that we've seen plenty of single moms growing up, having friends that came from a single mother background where they still were straightening up because of how she laid the law down, or, you know, the way that she kind of governed you and your friends, if you were friends and hanging out and all of those different things, versus one that had a boyfriend every other week, was more invested in the dude than the kids, and, you know, thought certain things were cute that was inappropriate for a kid. You seen the difference. But those women that really did make the adjustments and did their best to raise their kids, you can tell, because some of those kids, a good number of those kids, still turned out okay. You understand what I'm saying? And if that and the results aren't just reflected in sports, because a lot of times that's the narrative in sports now. The LeBron Jameses, the Russell Westbrooks, the KDs, you know what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot of athletes like the Kobes and Jordans who grew up in a 2-parent household, right? And so when I see that and I look at that, I'm like, that's not the representation for all. Just like how when you see some ghetto stuff happening, that's not the representation of all black folk. But when it happens, it's highlighted, it's amplified. And one of the things that I cringe at is when it is a white person that gets a hold of it. It's like, see?
Because I swear, I feel like it's Destiny Child's fault, bro.
Well, yeah, they play a role in it. I know where you're going with that. But I do understand. I do understand the platforms where the brothers are coming out and they're like, "Oh man, see the single moms and this, that, and the other." And it's like, you gotta. I just want for once, even if it's just on our platform, that we add context. That it's not just about being a single mom or a single parent. It's the type of single mom and single parent, because they throw out the statistics of, well, single father households produce better children than single mother households, but it depends on what type of single father you are. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
A fucking piece of shit, degenerate, alcoholic, something like it could be circumstantial where the mom may have passed away. It wasn't just like the father was the best parent for the child to be with.
Probably was dependent on the mom until she passed away, and then now you got to pick up the slack, and you're not doing your part. You dig what I'm saying? Those things have happened. I don't have too many, but I have a couple homies that was raised with their dad, and that relationship ain't what you would think it would be, because a lot of people believe that, oh man, if this person had their father in their life, this, that, and man, some people were raised by their dad. But then at the same time, I do have a handful of homies that I was raised with that their fathers was on point. You know, a few Furious Styles out there. You know what I mean? But I think the most important part of the context of that situation is the type of parent. Even if it's just like being raised with your grandma. A lot of people we grew up was raised with their grandma, right? But there was two types. There were the type of grandma that didn't take nothing from any kid in the neighborhood. And then there was the overwhelmed grandma that was like, oh, well, you need to stop all that. And, you know.
That you could run over.
Yeah, for sure.
You could go do whatever you wanted to because she wasn't able to discipline you.
She's too old. She done already raised her kids and now raising their grandkids, right? Now, you said you blame Destiny's Child. Break that down.
It was a few of their songs, didn't they? A couple of their songs.
Late 90s?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bills.
Bills, and the Independent Woman.
Independent Woman. I would say Bills was late 90s, 98, 99. Yeah, Independent Woman was early 2000s.
I mean,
but it wasn't just them, because
they fought as in the
mindset and influence.
Ooh, I just took the word.
Mindset and influence. But there was somebody that helped them. And the sad thing is the group of women that helped them roll that narrative out was more positive prior to this song, TLC.
Oh yeah, for sure. When
TLC dropped No Scrubs, it was a wrap.
No Scrubs was it. It was because No Scrubs.
Yeah, No Scrubs.
That was the one.
And the sad thing is when you look at the history of TLC, they were more positive. They always was informing you about like safe sex in different situations.
Yeah, with the No Scrubs.
And the crazy thing about history lesson for you younger people, right? For you people that are in your 20s, because if you're in your 30s, you should know this fact. Fun fact: when TLC dropped No Scrubs, they were broke.
Oh yeah, they Pebbles had hit them up for everything.
Took all their pebbles.
Everything, video games, and I need everything from Fly.
Yes, they were the No Scrubs. No Scrubs got them out of the brokenness, and then the momentum kept going. Yes, so there you go. Yeah. Fun fact
for sure.
But I do think it was detrimental.
And they said immature was supposed to be the male TLC.
That's yo. Hey, you know the only reason why they did that was because of how Marcus Houston wore his hair.
Why his name was Batman?
Because he was a Batman fan. It really was. That's why.
You got a family member named Batman, don't you? Or somebody in your family?
I am Batman in my family because I'm the Batman fan of my family.
Jay James. Now I got a person in my family nickname was Batman.
Why?
We don't know, but I've been knowing him since the day I was born.
Y'all better find out because that might be why some of y'all stuff is missing.
God bless the dead. He's, you know what I'm saying? He was my grandfather's best friend.
And they called him Batman? Okay.
I never knew his first name. It's Batman. That's Batman.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. That's crazy. I do agree with you though. I think that when we talk about like the influence and what's happened to women, as far as that goes, again, I do believe that there needs to be context because a lot of brothers do what we do right now and they're not adding context to it. Yeah, women have been sold a lie.
Yeah, but they drowning out the other women too though. Like what's really happening is in our algorithm and what we seeing and what's creating conversations are the ones who are stirring up these conversations with their takes or their viewpoints, which they may not even really wholeheartedly believe, but I feel like it's too much of what we see for that to be like representative of most women. A lot of women don't feel the way that they feel like they have. A lot of women do have these traditional values and they have accountability, although they may have expectations of men and relationships. Like it just looked like it's modern women, but
I have a theory on that, on what you just said. You said that there's a lot of women out there that still have traditional values and things of that nature, and
they may even not have traditional values, but they're not like having this.
The mindset, the modern woman mindset?
This modern, quote-unquote, woman mindset of, like, princess treatment.
You know what I think? I think that the reason why there's so many women on the internet that don't display that is because the ones that are really like that, in which you explain, aren't going to take the time to do all of that.
Yeah, because that's not what they do.
They're genuinely that. So it's like, I'm not finna get online
and talk about it.
And talk about what I do every day. That'd be like us getting online and be like, let me tell y'all, man, I had to drive to the store. That's not interesting to nobody because everybody does it. And I think that I really move like this. So what do I need to put that out there for? But the ones that are loud mouthing and stuff like that, I think deep down inside, a lot of them know that they're really not like that.
Are they playing a part? Or
playing a character, a Charleston White?
Not even like a Charleston. I feel like Charleston believes who he is, and although he's embellishing and playing a character in himself, but that he's playing a character of himself.
Oh, he's playing a different version of himself, right?
Yeah. Some of these like conversations that I see, like of some other women, it seems like they're playing their viewpoint is coming from this
avatar. This avatar character they've created of themselves.
Yeah, but it's like a same collection of these are the only ideas you can have, and so they just pick from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like genuine who they are. It's what they think.
Well, what do you think?
This
What do
person should
you
be.
think exposes that? When you say that, you feel like a lot of women that have that character that they're making up. Oh, I'm really like this, that, and the other. But when the camera goes off, they're not really that person.
The Valley Girl tone, the Valley Girl accent and
Okay.
tone,
Okay.
the inflection in their voice.
Okay.
Like I said, you don't sound like, and also the sarcasm in seeing someone being frustrated by their lack of participating in conversations with giving like a direct answer sometimes. So like it's like they'll enjoy the frustration of someone trying to like
Okay.
and that's just some of the things I can tie on, but it's really like the way in which they talk. Like,
I look at the results. What happens is you've heard the same. You let somebody talk long enough, you're gonna find out the truth or find out who they are. And what I find interesting is that some people, they get on it. It almost always happens. And you know who it happens to? It happens to the people that go viral really fast because of their hot takes. What ends up happening is now so many people are hyper focused and trying to figure out who they are, where they came from, where they grew up with. Start collecting all of this data, and then you find out the truth. It happened to the Just Pearly Things girl. It's happened to a woman by the name of Cynthia G. She was a man hater. Cynthia G was a man hater, and she even encouraged women
she was with
to...
the Little Rascals girls.
Huh?
She was with the girls from the Little Rascals.
She probably was. She probably was. But she was encouraging women to... how can I say this for YouTube purposes? To delete their pregnancy if it was a male, right? And then people started doing some digging and come to find out she had a baby daddy.
And her objective of that was for no males to be born.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
was...
How would other women be born?
You know, these are the questions, you know, that we ask.
I'm just asking.
Right? But here's the thing: she got shut down, and
off with her head.
There's a woman out here that does content. I don't know her name, but the wife has came across her content where she can't stand men. And so her whole platform is built off of that. And so, you know, to me, that's exhausting. I couldn't do that. Like every week, if we sat here every week and we was just going in on the exact same thing week after week, I can't even eat the exact same food for too long. You know what I'm saying? So for me, food for thought is like, I can't, like mentally, I can't commit to that. But what I will say is that a lot of these things are being spawned off of certain debates that have now grown way further than the capacity of what it should have been. And
I think what's even more interesting about all these different kind of conversations is I would like there to be studies done to kind of, because we're at a point in society where I feel like, and I'm not an expert in any field or of anything to say this is true or not, but this is just what I've kind of felt like off my observations, because I see it in so many different areas of human behavior. Have we reached an extreme in so many different areas that this is, like you said, in the laws of physics, every action has a reaction. And maybe like we've reached this point where when it comes to sexual identity, when it comes to women and men relationships, when it comes to laws, when it comes to politics or politicians, have we reached this point of extremity to where we're like, because people aren't just debating about like ideas necessarily that could make sense on either side if you were really objective.
Okay.
We're talking about now we're at a fucking circus.
Oh, yeah. I've said that before. It's definitely a circus.
And everything. And it's things that don't even really, like, you could debate with a person and be like, in the moment, you're not going to get what they're saying. Not really agree with them. If you sat back and be like, I can understand that. But we're at a point when people are arguing points that not only they know that they don't believe, because when they get backed into a corner, they're not able to, like, kind of...
They're not able to stand on what they quote-unquote believe.
They don't know. They are not willing to, nor can they answer simple questions. Like, you don't have to be an expert in what you believe to be able to answer, like, simple questions.
Well,
and we're at a crazy point now.
Well, it is a crazy point, but there's I have a perspective on that. I feel like people like that get backed into a corner because now it's been proven that they probably don't believe everything that they're saying. They're just arguing to be right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people do that. So now they're more committed to not being wrong than the actual belief that people are challenging about them, because we see it. I don't know who I've been wanting to cover this dude's content, and I'll do that on a later day. But it's the white dude that's going to all of the different colleges and all of these different debate circles where he's talking to them.
I forget his name, the white guy.
Yes.
He's sitting under the canopy.
Yeah. And even though he's sharp in certain points, but when he started talking about the black statistics is when I found it interesting, because now when people give stats, and I'm going to just keep it G, when people give stats now, I want to know where the hell you got them from.
I don't watch none of those
and
no more.
Well, what happens
I get outraged.
Well, what happens is you're watching something, and then they be like, yeah, the studies show this, studies show that. So I got tired of it a couple years ago, right? And because my mom is phenomenal at genealogy, I said, hey, when you're finding facts about slavery, about black history, about family history, because she's done favors for people where she's found relatives and stuff, right? I said, when you're looking for facts, where do you go? And I'm not going to tell y'all. Y'all going to have to find it out for yourself like I did. But when she told me the sites that she only trusts, they're reputable sites. They're on top. And even when you go look at the stats, yeah. And the thing is too, is that even the studies on those sites are from a certain time period. So it's not like it's from 1995 to yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to the FBI database, then they're going to be at least 4 years behind, because that's when census go out.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of the data is it's not going to be current, because the current data is still being collected and analyzed, and it can't be. They got to fact check everything. The year isn't over with, so you can't really analyze any of that data and quantify any of that within the year nor the year after. Right. It takes an amount of time for it to be dissected to go through. But yeah, like I think like society in America, we've reached this point of like it's just now it's crazy.
Well, I was gonna speak to that too. When you said that it got to a crazy point with certain things like that. The other thing I think happens too is because people don't really know how to debate, so they got to find an area where they can dominate, because they realized they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So one of the things that's been triggering for me, man, about the internet is when I watch dialogue and people will argue a statement of the dialogue as if that's what the argument was about or the debate was about. I can't stand that, because that's how you get the circus. Right? The circus was supposed to be about the lion hitting the ball with the nose, right? And then because there was a problem within that action, that's what's hyper focused on the show now. Yeah, you get lost in tangents. You going off into tangents, and now you're making an argument over what you highlighted. It's every day in our comment section. Now it's entertaining to me. You know what I'm saying? But when you made the statement about how certain music has influenced a lot of women in a negative way, I wanted to ask you, because this has been an ongoing conversation.
I don't mean like necessarily influence women in a negative way. I want like
bro, stand on that.
You know,
it has though.
I'm gonna be more specific. It's part of the culture to where
it's impacted them in a negative way, bro. If you don't say it, that's fine. I'll say it.
Yeah, but independent women has empowered a lot of women as well.
To do what?
They didn't a lot
to go to work. They always have the right to go to work.
I can sit here and say objectively that I don't believe that the song "Independent Women" and the Bills" necessarily made all women think the same way about those songs. They didn't interpret it in the same way or were empowered the same way.
We talking about the ones that interpreted the wrong way.
We talking about Funky Mouth. You know what I'm saying? A funky FMB.
You know what it's like?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what it's like? What's going on? First of all, them songs did not benefit women at all. Okay, I'm just telling you. I don't think we don't know where they at. I ain't never met none of these women. I don't think you have either.
I'm sure we have. They got a lot.
But I
of
will
say,
say,
can you help pay these bills?
But I will, and it didn't. I don't think it worked that much because
some bills got paid.
Yeah, some bills did get paid, but paid off simping, not the song. I was paid off of simping.
No, they're empowered by the mindset. Like a lot of people can say, Jay-Z made them into being more of a hustler.
A street hustler.
Not even a street hustler, a hustler, like just to talk about money and about the type of ownership and the way he was talking about it made people want to go and hustle.
Which version of Jay-Z? Dreads Jay-Z or short fade Caesar Jay-Z?
It just depends.
Because Dreads Jay-Z is talking about corporate hustling. Faded Jay-Z was talking about moving through the Marcy projects.
Yeah, but no, he wasn't talking about it the same way that Mobb Deep and somebody else might be talking about it. He's talking about it in a way that's like a hustler's mindset, not necessarily what avenue you in. So a hustler, you could be in doing a whole bunch of different things. That don't mean selling drugs necessarily. I can interpret it and be like, oh, I could do that same shit.
Man, you're speaking to a very, very small minority of people that understand to take certain parts of the music and apply it to your positivity. Because when I look at people, the reason why I push back on that is because people love to blame hip hop for people's choices. And my thing is if people paid attention to like music, a lot of hip hop and a lot of R&B stuff like that is just storytelling lyrically, right? Even when you look at artists and their names, they're trying to tell their version of a story that they can relate to from a gangster. Like Jay-Z always references himself as Lucky Lefty. Lucky Lefty was in Donnie Brasco, Noriega, Nas Escobar, all of these different people. They were influenced by gangster movies and stuff like that. And so they like they were artists. They're painting, I'm going to paint a picture of how I can relate to this person or that person. I think what happened with a lot of women, because it's easy to do this to a lot of women, unfortunately, is you take their emotions and you amplify the way they feel with a soundtrack to it. So if she just got out of a relationship and she was paying for everything and she was dealing with all this bullshit, she had a breakup, right? And she get in her car and turn the radio on. No, I don't want no. You're feeling that, just like Irreplaceable. There's a lot of women that was listening to Irreplaceable thinking that they was Beyonce. No. You're not necessarily who Beyonce is, the star, but that wasn't your circumstances. You're just trying to find a soundtrack to the way you feel, probably missing out on some of that accountability that you failed to see.
I can agree to that, but I mean, how many niggas went and smoked somebody depending on what song they listened to because the nigga told them to go do that?
I would say that the person that told them to do that had more influence.
Yeah, so what I would say is, definitely the artist has influence.
Hell yeah, they have an influence.
I was saying with Destiny's Child, more not necessarily with the individual interpreting the song, it became cultural. So there are songs that a lot of people love and revere. Yeah. But they don't become part of the culture. And what I mean by that is the type of mindset now or the way or the language that's used now is about independent women or an interpretation of what an independent woman meant to Destiny's Child or the song or anybody at all is now we talking about like can you pay my bills, like, you know what I'm saying? Black women gonna come up with them sayings. So all of that shit ties into what I'm saying, like that.
And mindset. Still in 2025,
That's why I say it's their fault.
Yeah, it's still in 20.
Not really their fault, but it's fake their fault.
Yeah, it's a lot their fault. Because it's still 2025. It's still an argument about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's still an argument in 2025. Yeah, but, sure. The interesting part about that is now we're at a point where a lot of women, it's real interesting depending on stats and how you see things, right? But now, when you start talking about like sports, and for a long time, like the WNBA has had this, comparison.
No, I was about to say, nigga.
Comparison.
There ain't much they had.
They had this comparison now.
Okay. Comparison to what?
Just they want to be paid more.
Oh, I was about to say, what comparison they could?
So they've compared themselves to NBA players.
Got it.
And
what was the result of that comparison?
Well, there's a lot of funny things that came out of that because for starters, a lot of funny things came out of that because they would compare like the best WNBA player to LeBron James as far as in pay, equal pay, and so what they've done, because I sent you the clip where now they're talking about it on these podcasts and stuff about they're protesting right now. So now they wearing T-shirts that say "Pay us our money," and so
we'll stop playing.
Well,
what's they gonna do if they don't? They gonna stop playing?
This is a good question. I'm glad you asked me that because the podcast that I had sent you, bro, was trying to explain that y'all going out there with T-shirts telling them to pay y'all money, and so the female player was looking at it like, well, hold on, because women do this a lot. When a man does this, it's this. But when a woman does this, it's that. And it's like, you have no choice but to look at it that way, right? That's just the laws, the unspoken laws that's going to be looked at differently. And so she says, like, you guys throw temper tantrums when you don't get what you want. And he said, no, we don't. We just not going to show up until we get our money. We not wearing T-shirts and doing campaigns and doing interviews.
I get what they saying. They protest how they want to protest because men was protesting a certain way, regardless of how you protesting. You're protesting.
But they were protesting individually. Like, for example, in the NFL, traditionally, if you're going into the next season like this season is about to start right now, and you're a top tier player, you're not showing up to minicamp. You're not showing up to practice because we ain't negotiated a new deal, and I'm not showing up playing for only $3 million when I'm worth 40 to 50.
Well, they're in the beginning stages of protests. Okay, they've only been around for so much time. They're learning how to what's the effectiveness of their protests. They're at the T-shirt making stage right now. Soon they'll move on up. They'll move on up to bigger and better protests.
But do you know what I think is funny? The NBA is successful. Why? Who supports the NBA?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Everybody.
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 Is there a certain group of people that support the NBA or the NFL at all?
White people and black people.
Okay. Anything consistent about these people? Besides being white, black, or
they've been around since the beginning of the country.
So history, they've had time to get momentum, and yeah, okay. There's a specific answer I'm looking for,
men. No, but women too.
Women too,
and gay women too.
But here's the thing:
if gay men too.
But here's the thing: if men,
boys and girls,
gay men are still men.
Women and children.
If men stopped watching and paying for tickets to go see these athletes, it would be a different league.
Yeah, but this is my thing. I think WNBA might be one of the more boring versions of a women's sport.
It's gotten more views now.
It's getting more views now
because of the rivalry between the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Yeah,
they moving and playing, and they're playing different.
They're playing different.
If you watch the clips of these young,
I have a niece right now who's
fired.
raw.
They fired. They not playing like quote unquote girls.
I know.
They fire. But let's say I will watch women UFC, MMA fights. I'll probably watch a women's tennis match.
Because it's more entertaining.
But
why would you watch female UFC but not WNBA?
I ain't never really been into watching like basketball, football seriously like that ever, unless it comes to like playoff times and shit.
Yeah, but still, why would you watch women's UFC though? Why is that so entertaining?
Because they not moving like WNBA. That shit just be moving. That shit be just looking so boring. I don't know. They don't move the same way.
Can I share a theory on why you might watch men and women's UFC? Because the entertainment is at an equal balance as far as in that, right?
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing. When I look at WNBA, I'm not even gonna. I can't say I share the same sentiments, and I say that it's not the same thing because I don't watch it to be able to give that criticism. Right. What I will say is, when they're protesting about their money, who are they talking to? Because their lack of support, in my opinion, is the women.
Yeah, to go tell the women to watch y'all shit.
Like, why aren't the women? And that's always been an argument, like, in my head where I think about, this and equal that, and it's like, you guys have outnumbered us.
Ain't nobody faking out the thing.
You've outnumbered men like the majority of our lives, right? So what is the issue in unifying?
Maybe more pay. I think they want asking for more pay.
But you have
more pay. What
was my point earlier?
Cost of living adjustment.
My point earlier was the reason why the NBA and NFL is what it is because men contribute to that. We buy jerseys, we buy tickets, we watch the Super Bowl, we watch the playoffs. We are really dedicated.
So
and what's interesting?
Lower the hoop.
This is what's funny.
Yeah,
you sound like Shaq.
Hoop.
You sound like Shaq. That's what Shaq said.
That's saying what Shaq it because he said it. Yeah. Because the entertainment level has to do with y'all trying to play with this. I mean, their hoop ain't even as high as ours is, right? Still.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the regulation is.
Because it looks crazy because y'all athletics is not there. Y'all can't jump the same. Y'all can try and do it, and maybe the young girls doing it as they're younger and learning to do it over time.
Well, you did say it was beginning stages though, bro. So they just need a little bit more time. You see basketball in the 50s when it first started.
I don't think naturally they're taller as tall as men. So there's not as many women who are even attempting to dunk at all. You can't just start dunking when you get tall. Or
female ballers out there that'll go in.
But you can't just do it in the WNBA. Try to dunk now because you're in the WNBA. Dunking, you would have been trying to do that shit a lot younger. We were trying to dunk when we was little kids. So I'm saying, like, the culture of women, how they play basketball would also need to change maybe. And I think I've seen that. And, like, the aggressiveness.
I think it's a support thing.
The aggressiveness, too. And, like, the athleticism is going to be a factor.
I still think it's a support thing.
I don't want to see that shit. This shit's not.
The reason why
fundamentals.
The reason why I don't even think that would matter. I'm gonna tell you why, because there are other women that are really successful where people watched. When Serena Williams was in her prime, a lot of people that did not watch tennis watched tennis.
Because she's hitting that shit and looking like she's not looking like a woman playing tennis necessarily. She's looking
but here's the thing. Everybody was, men and women wanted to see that. They contributed to that. Tiger Woods, a lot of people didn't watch golf and don't watch golf. But when Tiger Woods was about to do something historical or when he was playing in the Masters in his prime, I got to see what's going on.
Women in the WNBA, unfortunately, y'all could call it hate or whatever, I might not watch as much. See, when I see it, it's like they're like, it doesn't look the
I got
same.
an inside joke that my brother gonna laugh at when you see this.
Same.
Do you feel like when you see the WNBA games that the Harlem Globetrotters music come on? Yo, do you remember? You remember the Harlem Globetrotters music?
What's crazy is there's a woman on the Harlem Globetrotters now.
Hey, she's actually raw.
She's fire.
She's raw. She is raw. I know who you're talking. Isn't she the daughter of one of the original?
I think so. You seen what she was doing?
Yes.
That was crazy. But yeah, now I can't. That's why I said, you see how slow they move? It's like when I watch WNBA, if I see clips, that shit look like clips in 1950, 60 when they was starting to play.
I just know the power in numbers from support matters because here's another era that a lot of younger people probably don't know about. The And One mixtape era. Men made that popular. We were invested into that. We were entertained by it, and we paid for it. So I just think that if you like anything in this day and age, you have to have a target demographic. I think the WNBA players, because I don't know what the actual front office and corporate is doing about it, but I think the WNBA players have a better shot at figuring out who are we entertaining every day.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I saw I keep hearing everybody talk about like Angel Reese.
Well, I see negative stuff about Angel Reese a lot.
But
Not saying that it's true, but that's just the narrative.
Run, it looked like she's struggling to run up the court, bro.
Do you know how many Caitlin Clark fans would love you right now for saying that?
Caitlin Clark looks more like an athlete when she moves. I ain't never seen her really move up the court, but I seen
she's
Angel
the
Reese.
Steph Curry of the WNBA right now.
But like, you know when somebody is like, when you see somebody running, you like damn, bro.
But she's tall and lanky. I mean, how many tall and lanky people look athletic when they run?
Yeah. I don't like it. That's what y'all calling me to come see? No, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
That's what y'all asked me to come see?
Shout out to the WNBA.
And shout out to Angel Reese, though.
Shout out to the WNBA. And y'all women out there need to support the WNBA. The WNBA the way that men support the NBA.
But they're not, because it doesn't look as cool.
That's not necessarily true.
What are they doing?
Bro,
they're not pulling up in fire fits. They don't got fits.
How many females?
They don't got the fire fits.
Okay, here's my argument.
They don't got the jewelry.
Bro, how many women sit courtside at an NBA game without being a celebrity or being there with a man that paid for the tickets?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The NBA players is pulling up with the fire fits. They got the jewelry.
That's not why the men are showing up.
The men.
You see Iverson Chain?
That's what I'm saying. They look like athletes when they playing. Like they look like they're supposed to be there. And supposed to be in some, like going to a WNBA game is like going to support your brother or sister playing basketball. It's like, damn, I gotta go to that fucking WNBA. I forgot my little brother got a game tonight. Like,
I've never been, man, so I can't give that criticism.
I went one time. It was free tickets to go see the Sparks.
Was they free tickets because somebody bought them for you, or they were just giving them out?
I was working for an after-school program. Took the youth.
That's bad, man.
Took the youth. That's
how you know it's bad. That reminds me of like when in high school we used to get Rivercast tickets.
Yeah. The city trying to support the youth. Inspire these niggas. As you can see, the Sparks is no longer here.
Who?
Right?
Oh, man.
The Sparks here? I ain't seen them light no beam, nigga.
This is
when they got a beam.
This is one of those.
They don't got a beam.
This is one of those funny moments.
They don't got a beam.
And I love that it's in real time.
Nigga ain't got no beam, nigga.
Y'all see me? let me help my brother out real quick because I'm a Lakers fan.
They should go. The Sparks.
The Sparks. The Sparks. The Los Angeles Sparks.
Oh no! Hold on.
It's for the Lakers.
What's the one?
He is referring to
the purple one.
The Monarchs.
Monarchs. Them.
That are no longer here, which is disrespectful, Sacramento, for not having the Monarchs here because they're the only ones to have a championship between them and the Kings.
I forgot their name because don't nobody say.
No, you said the wrong name.
Because I hear it.
Don't disrespect the Sparks because the Sparks got championships.
Because I hear the Sparks.
Nah, that's not.
I've heard. I don't hear Monarch.
Moving on.
I don't hear Monarchs.
Yo, why are all these podcasters and people with platforms beefing? Gille Da Kid,
right,
from $1 Million Worth of Game, has some words
and then your man.
for Cam Newton, and then for some reason Johnny Manziel got involved. He wasn't even named in anything, to my knowledge, right? But there's something that kind of irritated me about seeing fans and people weigh in on what Gille Da Kid was doing and what he was saying, because he just celebrated his birthday, right? And he took another shot at Cam Newton. But apparently he took a shot at Cam Newton as a quarterback. Cam Newton responded, took a shot at him as a rapper, which I thought was fair game.
Mm-hmm. I might not like
why Johnny Manziel got involved. I don't understand.
I might could, and on both sides, I could be like, okay, it's fair game for both because Gilly is going. Anybody who when it comes to Philadelphia, he's just doing this in lightheartedness. He seems passionate and like he gives a fuck. I don't think he really cared that much what he was saying in support of, Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
but even what Cam said to him, I don't even think Gilly gave a fuck about none of that shit. Like, either way, Cam is a successful quarterback athlete.
Yeah, like
we can't talk about.
We're not. I would never. I actually do get a little triggered when people do try to downplay Cam Newton, because when Cam Newton was dogging people out, when he was fresh in his prime, when he was giving Kaepernick problems some games, nobody had that energy. You feel me? Nobody was, especially when they were on their way to the Super Bowl against the Broncos. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Cam is a bona fide, certified quarterback.
He actually has checked every box as a quarterback except winning a Super Bowl. He won a championship.
Is one of the most difficult things to ever do.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when people do clown Cam Newton for not winning a Super Bowl, bro, you also got to remember there's people that you respect that never won a Super Bowl, like Dan Marino.
Yeah, of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, but also when it comes to Gilly,
he's a big sports fan too.
Gilly was very influential in changing Lil Wayne's style. I mean, we could say whatever we want about Gilly.
This means no disrespect to Lil Wayne, but I'm gonna say something, bro, because I feel like you're being nice. Gille Da Kid created the Lil Wayne that y'all know right now.
No, not the one we know right now. He created the version of Wayne.
Okay, I'll recant what I said and I'll say it better. He created the Lil Wayne that is able to be the Lil Wayne that he is right now.
I'm going to give respect to not being biased as much anymore. I feel like he extremely influenced a version of Wayne. I think Wayne had all the talent, and we ain't going to go off on a tangent here, but I feel like Wayne had all the necessary talent to be influenced and change his style.
And Gilly unlocked that. And we don't know for sure. But no, I do appreciate you saying that, because a lot of people do. Don't get me wrong, there is some music videos that Gilly came out with where I was weak as hell. Like, he really did that. But
you talking about Ludacris video?
Gilly? That Chicken Man video he did?
That wasn't him.
The Chicken Man video.
Oh.
Where he was eating the fried chicken, talking about he get the chicken.
Oh no, that's
bruh, that was actually hilarious. And I don't know if he was trying to be funny either. But Gilly is actually a nice. He's nice. His pen is nice,
and that's why what I was going to when I say nobody can make me give more all due respect to Gilly and Joe.
Oh yeah,
their pen was top tier. Both of them have great pens.
Yes,
but for
sure.
them to have been not as successful as maybe they would have wanted to, or what hip hop fans or hip hop says that they, what I'm saying. We talk, and I say we, but I don't. But we talk shit about someone who's not successful in the game. For them to come through and get onto the podcast game and be themselves. They're not. Gilly and Joe are being themselves. They're not going into a lane of doing things that they weren't normally doing. And for them to be as successful as they are, I don't think nobody could really take away from that. So when Cam is talking about that, like the podcast thing, like, I know you from podcasts. Motherfucker, they talking about me and you right now.
Okay, I'm going to say something, bro, that I kind of disagree with, but I don't disagree with you in a way that you think. When I look at Gilly and I look at Joe Budden, and I look at, I can't even say it's a disagreement. When I look at them two, I think them two guys elevated podcasting.
For sure.
The whole industry. Even though there's athletes that have it, Gilly and Joe Budden took it there. And Joe Budden, also known as the Podfather to many people, he was doing this when it was still the little app on your phone that nobody was clicking on, that was standard on your phone.
Back when Raekwon and his mans pulled up.
Yeah, he was doing it then. Now, when you talk about like their pen and stuff like that, the reason why I was making that face is because I think people forget, and I think a lot of people in entertainment forget this as well, that everybody that participates in a craft don't want the results that everybody think they should have. I'll give you an example. Like, Nas winning a Grammy was a trip to me because I don't think Nas cared about Grammys. I just think his artistry and his the way he approached things with those projects he did with Hit Boy produced a Grammy. I don't think Joe Budden and Gilly cared about being number one on the charts and on the billboards. I think they just wanted to do their thing and eat off of it.
I agree in part in how Joe comes off, but he definitely talks a lot about time. Certain songs that come out like that came out around the time period that he was on like Def Jam. When like when they come up in topic or he plays them or something like that, he'll always say, "Man, I had to fucking deal with this song." Like he'll talk about Chingy, like if Chingy comes and he's like, "I had to fucking deal with that song." So he wanted a level of success.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying
he definitely wanted to be.
Well,
up there.
you want to chart, and everything like that, but that number one spot or that you were because that's what people do a lot of times is they'll try to say you were never this or you were never that. There's a whole lot of people in the industry that was never that and that were better than the people that were that.
Well, some people forget or don't look at it as like this person was that in that lane. Joe was that in what he did. So just because that lane wasn't a lane that was lucrative as much as another lane, don't mean he wasn't that in his lane.
For sure.
And other drivers looking around like, oh yeah, that nigga over there.
Yeah, and I feel that way about Gilly because the reason why I wanted to emphasize what he did. I ain't gonna say
Gilly was in the same
tier
as Joe though.
I do feel that way, and I'm gonna tell you why I feel. You talking about in podcasting or in rap?
I'm talking about in rap.
I'm gonna tell you why I feel that way because when you look at what he brought to Cash Money, not just Lil Wayne, but to Cash Money, that changed what Cash Money used to be about lyrically when they started bringing in a different regime, because Young Money was a different regime than the Cash Money we grew up off of. And I'll say this, the thing about Gilly's pen and what he did and what that did for Lil Wayne's career is a big deal. And I think it gets overlooked. And I'm going to tell you why I think it gets overlooked. When you look at coaches that are successful, they were never that successful as a player as they are as a coach. You don't see Bill Belichick highlights when he was in high school or in college. But Bill Belichick is revered and respected because of what he was able to do with the Patriots and Tom Brady, right? There's another person you could say that about that was the player and the coach. Phil Jackson has 2 championships as a player. Matter of fact, I think those are the last time the Knicks won a championship. But he became this Zen godfather of coaching in basketball, right? So when I look at Gilly, he may not have been him on the billboards as an artist, but that songwriting, which a lot of rappers that have ghost wrote for people, they're nowhere near as big as the songs that they wrote for people.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
I'm wondering though if a lot of what Gilly did was help with cadence and flow, changing cadence and flow.
He changed the cadence and flow. He was even talking like Gilly in some of the songs. Because Gilly broke it down when they were beefing back then. He was like, because Wayne was saying in a lot of mixtape songs, you're fucking with the bull. That's a Philly thing. And he was saying that. Or the music video where he was literally wearing Gilly's Major Figures chain.
Yeah, niggas say shit that other people come around and say shit, but I really want to know.
You're not going to hear me in a song, bro. Like, yeah, son, you feel me, yo? And that's super East Coast.
It depends.
I say that because I've been heavily influenced by Nas. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what song that was where he said fucking with the bull, but I mean like songs like, because I was a super Wayne fan at the first Carter and before.
See, so I started being more of a fan when he was doing the Squad Up stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't listening.
And he was rapping. He was doing all the freestyles and stuff like. Yeah, I was rocking with that.
But the first Carter album, and anything before that as far as albums, I was a Wayne fan.
He started switching it up, and you now have the athletes coming. I don't know, the rapper and athlete beef,
better, though.
Huh?
You talking about the rapper athletes? Way better than any rapper.
Well, what I was getting at is the rapper athlete beefs because of podcasting and stuff like that. And so when I see Cam and I see I still don't understand why Johnny Manziel is here. I don't.
And what was he about? Because he gave.
Well, he said when he see Gilly, he was gonna slap the hell out of Gilly.
That's what I wanted to talk about. Yo, I don't want to. What I'm tired of is like, stop like threatening people and doing tough talking like on videos and on Instagram, and like unless somebody come and say something to you, maybe you might be sparked to respond that way. But just like stop like. Somebody say something and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you when I see you." Like, stop doing that type of shit.
Why? Why they can't do that? What's wrong with that?
You could do it all you want to. Like,
but why you say stop doing that?
Because a lot of motherfuckers just really be talking and saying shit and just be saying words. Like you just saying words and things.
You don't feel like Johnny Manziel was doing that because like he really was offended?
Yeah, but you finna slap Gilly for what?
Because he was saying what he said to Cam, and then at his birthday party he was holding the Lombardi and he was like, Cam ain't never had one of these, which I thought was hilarious. But you know that triggered Jimmy Football, man. Jimmy Football ain't like that.
Yeah, that's you bugging out.
And he was, you know, he was kind of like being like T.O. when T.O. was crying about Tony Romo. He was like, that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
You tell me you gonna slap me, I believe you.
Look, all jokes aside, I'm gonna say this: Johnny Manziel, I don't know why he was involved, bro. Yeah, and at the end of the day, I do think that sometimes, people take personality serious. There's people like the Gillys and the Camerons and the Maces where it's like, don't let this suit and this platform fool you.
Yeah, and Gilly is playing and having fun.
Yeah, he having fun, but y'all don't like. Look at the track list of where these rappers end up that really is about that life, because
neither one of them man disrespected each other though. Like, that's between them. They can have their.
I honestly think that Cam Newton and Gilly could end up in the same room and that energy wouldn't be like that.
No, it wouldn't,
because they know entertainment. They know and culturally.
Yeah.
Culturally, black folks, we could have that energy and then it could die down and we could never even apologize, and then we see each other in the same room and say, man, what's up, man?
That was a sports fan debate.
Yeah.
Like, what do we
Because
do?
it didn't even turn into violence. It wasn't a violent interaction until Johnny Dumbass and that's what, and I'm gonna be honest, when I seen that, I'm like, bro, this is kind of like a family conversation. Why is you here? This is how we interact with each other. This is how we talk noise to each other and still have somewhat respect. Yeah. We call each other out. We pull each other's car like, well, you did this, you did that. But nothing about what Cam and with Gilly said I felt like was gonna turn violent until Dr. Dumbass got on the internet and said, when I see you, I'm gonna slap you. And it's like,
oh, you gonna see me and slap?
Yeah, that's what he tweeted. He's like, yeah. When I see him, I'm gonna slap.
I seen the text.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what I think is funny when people pick people they think they can do that to, but there's certain people they would never do that to. Like I don't see Johnny Manziel saying nothing like that to 50. Somebody that really can throw hands, somebody that's actually known from his hood for throwing hands. You look at Gilly and you think because he's a little older and he's skinny, you know that's it.
I look at Gilly and I see a motherfucker who's 50 years old, look young.
He's not that much older than us, bro.
He's 50 and he's healthy. Have you seen Gilly play basketball?
Gilly is a phenomenal basketball player.
Have you seen him on the pads?
Yeah.
He's not just he's a very good.
Some of these rappers were actually and still are good athletes.
When he's on the pads, you see him moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because I don't know.
I feel like it's mandatory for Philly cats to have
and
hands.
He was. Yeah, that's
I feel like that's mandatory.
Like they do that in daycare. So when they drop him off at daycare, it's at least 20 minutes.
20 minutes on the pads.
On the pads, for sure.
Yeah, I would never underestimate a Philly person seeing that they have an actual defense and boxing named after them.
It's named after that place.
That place.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Johnny. I don't know if that was a smart move, just threatening Philly dudes.
Where
like they
from?
can't. Who?
Johnny Manziel.
I don't know.
They don't
the
have
NFL.
like the Idaho offense. They don't have one of those. Like you got to be the first to come in and then show us it worked.
The Idaho offense.
Show us the Idaho.
It's crazy. You know what's crazy? It was better that he stayed quiet because Cam Newton's career is 10 times better than Johnny Manziel's career. So it's almost like, to me, it's like Ray Allen and Kobe having an argument, right? Even though they from the same like era, draft class, I believe, right? And then Mateen Cleaves come in and be like, well, hold on, man. You ain't even gonna be talking to Ray Allen like that, and I'm gonna slap the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait, hold on, who?
It's like
it's
like the brother is fighting somebody. He like 18, fighting somebody.
Yeah.
And like the little 10-year-old brother come out.
Yeah, he start.
Stop fighting my brother.
Yeah.
Like,
What are you doing here? I thought their back and forth was hilarious, and I felt like I felt like Johnny Manziel should have shut the hell up because he was ruining it. Because we could have probably got more content, more laughter. But I look at Gilly and I look at Cam as two very successful individuals in what they do, even in music and in football. And I honestly think that will die down. And some people should just like not get involved with the conversation. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it. Yeah. So shout out to Cam and shout out to Gilly because they're both doing their thing on their platforms. You know what I'm saying? And as far as, I got something to say to the people that was getting at Gilly for like celebrating because he was holding up the Lombardi and he was saying, you never had one of these. Let me tell you something, you dumb sports fans out there, right? Because a lot of people saying you acting like you won the Super Bowl or you never won a Super Bowl either. Why are you holding the trophy up? Look, when your team wins, you a part of it.
Yeah, he won too.
You a Niners fan.
Yeah.
When the Niners win,
I won.
And
too.
when the Niners was winning in the 90s,
I was winning.
Last time they'll ever win.
Fuck out.
You was a part of it. You said, this is my team. We did this. Do you know why fans say we did this? Because they supported the team. They amped the team up in the home games. Stop hating when a fan is celebrating their team winning the chip because without the fans, they wouldn't be the team that they are.
You know, one of the number one crimes committed in every city across America that has a professional sports team is assault and battery. And that's because you could be wearing the wrong sports jersey at the wrong arena.
For real?
That's just a fact I just came up with, but
yeah, man, that sounded really compelling and believable, man. You know what you just did right now? Let me tell you what you just did right now. You know what you just did right now? I don't think you understood how powerful that was, and I'm glad we didn't end the episode when I thought we was going to end. You just gave an example of how stupid people are on the internet because you literally pulled some bullshit out of nowhere, right? And you said with a straight face, yeah, man, 99% of crimes on game day happen because an away team walked into the arena. And I was like, word? And you was like, just made that up. This is why there's so many dumb people on the internet.
Yeah, you can just say
you can say whatever you want.
Words.
Whatever you want, man. And if somebody, and you know what sad part is if somebody cut the episode off and you said that and they didn't finish, now they going out there spreading more dumbassness. Like, hey, I just heard it on the Notion. That's how I know it's true because them brothers always got the facts.
I be on Facebook too. I see them little posts.
Them posts be leading people down.
Seeing them posts, my nigga.
Hey, it's a lot of posts that lead people down Dummiesville.
And nigga, I got 2 degrees in this shit. I be looking at shit like I was about to go in the comments and write some shit like I believe this shit too.
That's real rap, man. Yeah. That's real rap, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, dog. We gonna go ahead. We gonna get up out of here, man. Hilarious. You've been tuning into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building.
The guy on the couch.
Bruh, you've been tuning in to Outlawed Opinions. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, leave comments. Let us know what you think about the topics, what you agree with, what you disagree with. We always here for the smoke, and we always here to have a discussion. Until next time, peace.
Love and soul.